I'm Leo Sidran with The Art of the Story. Today would have been Miles Davis's 100th birthday. Throughout this year, musicians and listeners are celebrating that centennial with concerts, recording projects, retrospectives, and tributes to his legacy. Miles spent his life searching. He changed the sound of music repeatedly, assembling generations of musicians around him and pushing constantly towards something new. Few artists loom so large over the history of the music. And yet there is something about Miles that resists tribute. Maybe it's because so much of his own contribution was his restlessness, or the instinct to leave familiar ground behind. 40 years ago, in January of 1986, my father, Ben Sidran, sat with Miles on the terrace of his Malibu home. Miles was famously focused on the present and the future, but in this conversation, he reflected on his past, and he also talked about individuality and what it means to make a contribution.
If I couldn't discover something or help the art, a new way to do this, like that, I wouldn't want to be here. I would just want to be dead if I couldn't create. That's what I'm trying to say. It would be nothing for me to live for, if I couldn't maybe write a composition that I'd like, not somebody else, that I would like and my friends would like. And they say, yeah, Miles, that's good. If I couldn't do that, I wouldn't want to be here. It's selfish, I know, but geniuses are selfish.
Part of your genius has been, it seems, to take groups of musicians and put them in challenging situations. Looking back over the output of your recorded work, the newness, a lot of times, stands out as much as anything. The fact that you're creating situations that force musicians to rely on their instincts rather than their habits. That's
right. It's the group of people that you associate with. It's not all me, it's them. People like Herbie Hancock, those people that I work with, Chick Corea, they're talented people, especially when they get in their creative period. People have creative periods where they, like that. If they could just wait on that or recognize it when it's there, I recognize it in other people,
Again, part of the message of your music seems to be yourself and the minimalism of your own music, the pretty notes, as opposed to a lot of notes.
Pretty notes. If you play a sound, you have to pick out, it's like the eye of the hurricane, you have to pick out the most important note that fertilizes the sound. You know what I mean? It makes the sound grow, and then it makes it definite so your other colleagues can hear and react to it. If you play what's already there, they know what's there, The thing is to bring it out. It's like putting lemon on fish or vegetables. It brings out the flavor. That's what they call pretty notes. Them just major notes that should be played. Your sound is like your sweat. Your sound. There's no more sound. During those days when you didn't hear anybody to copy, guys got their own sound. But now that you have so many records and cassettes, it's no more sound. They copy it. They copy the sound.
That's an interesting point, though, that before there was such wide recording distribution, people were forced to develop their own sounds.
They didn't have anything to listen to, But you watch guys play an instrument and you like the attitude, the concept, the way it looks, the way they hold it, the way they dress.
100 years after his birth, Miles Davis still sounds like the future. Maybe that's why his influence continues to feel so present. I'm Leo Sidran, WBGO News.